hey, I just got to tell you, like, this isn't working for me. And meanwhile, I'm thinking this has been great.
Yeah.
He's coming back every other week. He's engaged. He hasn't taken his foot off the gas. You know, he's loaded. We're told by our owner of our building, we had been there 16 years, that we needed to move out and we needed to find a new place to do our business. I have this vivid dream of a lion circling our house, trying to attack our family.
Yeah.
When my kid's in my arm, having a seizure, as I told you, I said, God, take me.
Yeah.
Patrick, there is a solution to this. Just sell me the company.
Yeah.
On August 1st, God really put me on my knees, surrendering that bitterness and that anger to the Lord. Wow. If this had happened, if I had not surrendered that anger and that bitterness, and this had happened, everything would have come undone.
Feel called by God to do what we're doing here.
We do.
And to build a great culture. And I've been able to meet Patrick's team, his leadership team, see his facility, and that was incredible. And Patrick's here today, visiting us today, spending time with us today. He'll get a tour of PWI as well.
I'm excited. That's why I wanted to get down here. I wanted to come see your facility. It was a surprise to have you at mine, but that was so much fun.
It's so great. And I love comparing stories between business owners, between CEOs, because I think we can always learn things.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So tell us, let's go back to 2019, 2020.
Okay.
And let's dive into kind of what happened in this last season since we met, and kind of the walk through that story a bit of what happened and some of the hard things that you've been through.
Yeah, I'm going to do that. First, just to give a little quick intro into who we are.
Yes, please do that.
So CCB Technology, we're IT managed services.
Yeah.
We didn't start that way, though.
Yeah.
So in 1991, Dad started the business in the basement of our house to help nonprofits.
Yeah.
So we started the charity program for Microsoft. Then that turned into doing hardware and other manufacturers. And so we ended up probably doing over, 20,000 different lines of IT.
What year was this?
Well, this was from 91 until 2011.
Okay.
We started really just supplying software, hardware. That was it. And we didn't do any services. And then in 2011, with the merge of the cloud, we launched services. Okay. And my dad was with me, and he said, Patrick, go do this. I'm like, Dad, I don't know what I'm doing. He's like, well, figure it out.
How old were you at that time?
Oh my gosh, I don't want to know. Let's see, 2011. Let's just say I was in I'm 48 now, so in my 30s, right there. And so
you were a young leader.
I did not know what I was doing. Okay, I knew to pray.
Yeah.
And I knew that my dad had my back financially and emotionally, but I had to go do it. And the one thing I knew was go hire smart people, right? Because it's not about me. I can't do it on my own. You got to hire people around you. So we did that. So from 2011 until on, we now are considered a managed service provider. So we are doing IT services, everything. We can do your projects. We can do your help desk. We can do your full patching. We can take care of everything, or we can co-manage. And so that's who we are. 35 years in business, still figuring out where we're going, especially with AI, and how do we help businesses embrace this and not be scared of it, but also be aware that you have to be have guidelines and governances, or you will let this thing go out of control in your house. You don't want that. So that's who we are and what we do. But with that, in 2018, I bought the company from my parents on December 31st, 2018.
Wow.
So when you met me in 2019, which is really special that we did connect, I was my first year owner of the business. Now, I've been in the business for a long time. I'd been in the business since 2001. But this was my first time as an owner. And things were stressing. What I thought 2019 was stressing, I had no idea what was coming.
Did any of us, right?
No, none of us, right? So talk about you have a plan until you get hit in the mouth. Mike Tyson, and then that plan goes out the window because what are you going to do now, right? So 2019, I was embracing with how do I manage finances? How do I deal with this legacy? And it was such an honor.
You respected your dad. Your dad was the founder. He was the guy, maybe a little controlling, all those things. Aren't they all, right?
Founders, But and my mentor, So he guided me and taught me, but it's now it's on me. It's on my back.
You felt
to
that
carry.
weight.
Oh, nobody understands
Yeah.
fully the second generation weight.
Yeah.
I talk about this.
Yeah.
The pressure is the first generation did it. The second generation is, hey, don't screw it up, kid.
Yeah, no kidding.
And that's what I wear. And so in 2019, when you met me, I was an honor to hear Dave even choose us.
Yes.
We met. I'm like, and I've been watching you as you never know who's watching.
Yeah,
But,
no
you
kidding.
know, I'm out there. I'm seeing your success. I'm thinking, I got to reach out to this guy.
Yeah.
I go, I've seen you pour into your family. I've seen you pour into your culture. I've seen you pour into your growth of your company. And I'm like, this is the guy that I want to run next to.
Yeah.
And that's so important in life. And so what's happened was in 2020 and all the way through, it's been challenge after challenge after 20. So 2020 was the COVID year.
Yeah.
2021 was the Great Resignation, where I saw people leaving.
So talk to me about that.
Yeah.
Tell me what you experienced in 2021, and why do you think that happened? What caused that at CCB specifically? Can you figure that? Can you dive into that a bit more?
Yeah, I don't think it was just CCB. It was the life in the industry coming out of 2020. People were panicking a little bit to figure out how to gain talent in a new way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because people weren't traveling. So how do you grab people to come in, the work-life balance? So people started throwing crazy money out there. Not sustainable, as I know things got taken away. But we lost about 6 people, and we never lose people. And I say that because we're a small business. We're about 50 employees.
Yeah.
But six people left within like 2 months, and that's unheard of in our company. Like you're here 15 years, 20 years, 30 years.
Yeah, I met some of your team. They've been there for forever.
Yeah. I mean, the reality is this was what is happening. And then it took, of course, I took it on the chin of myself of, Am I the reason they're leaving? Am I the problem? Because they didn't do this when my dad was here. Yeah. And so that was rough.
Isn't that what we do though? We
you internalize it, right?
You internalize it and you say, what am I doing wrong? Is my leadership
And
terrible?
there's a point you should pause and say, have I had any influence on it? But to the weight that we take it so personal.
Yeah.
And I'm still working on that to not take things personal. Right. And it just was hard because I cared so much for them.
Yeah.
And they had to do what was best for their family. Yeah. So that was 2021. We did come out of it. One of the things I made sure was to continue to show value to my current employees. And so I did. I offered a bonus for people to stay. Wow. I was like, hey, we're bleeding out on the operating table right now. How do we stop the bleeding? Yeah. And so I offered everyone a bonus to stay. If they stayed to the end of the year, they would get it. Anyways, it was just an opportunity to try to say, I care about you. Yeah. I understand there's options out there, but unless I show you, because words matter, but actions are really powerful, even more. So I had to show some action behind it, and that's what we did. And we've been dealing with different things ever since. Yes, but it never stops. People ask, "How are you doing?" I'm like, "It's not boring. Life is not boring."
No kidding. So. Yeah, if you want boring, don't become a CEO or a business owner, right?
I miss the fine print on that.
Yes,
but your
dad never told you that.
I'm in it now. So
yeah, I saw my dad stress out about stuff. I saw him feel the weight of that. But you don't really. I think I've told you this, Patrick. You didn't really feel the weight. I didn't feel the weight until he was gone. Till I actually truly felt. Because I was somewhat-ish running the company, as you were in the business and all that. But when he was gone at the end of 2017, man, I felt this. Oh yeah, it's actually on me. I'm going to screw this up. I'm second generation. I'm going to screw this up. I'm going to lose it, right? Yeah. And there's this real pressure, this weight that you don't expect.
Same thing happened to me. My dad used to always say to me, "Hey, Patrick, one day I won't be here to talk with you. Yeah, and you're going to really then realize." How much it was been nice to talk to me. Yeah. And I remember thinking like, well, Dad, that's a little prideful. Like, it's so true. Yeah. Literally my dad passed in February of 2023, February 16th, 2023. And the next couple weeks later, I told you this yesterday, we were told by our owner of our building, we had been there 16 years that we needed to move out. And we needed to find a new place to do our business. And I felt like, why is this happening to me now? And I expressed this is like the worst time. They didn't care. They're like, listen, this is what we need. And they have to do their business. But I was like, Lord, why? Why now? Right. Yeah. And then I felt like my dad is never going to see the next place. And a lot of it was emotional. Like I was in my dad's office.
Yeah.
I'm like, I could see him when I had meetings with there. I didn't want to lose that memory.
Yeah.
And so there was a lot of pressure of how did this happen and what did I do wrong and all these things. And then I'm like, Dad, I really could use you right now. Yeah. And of course I prayed, I said, Dad, you're pretty funny. And God, in the sense of humor of here we are. And wish I could talk to my dad. It was weeks after his passing that I'm like, man, Dad, you were right. Yeah. You nailed it. Once again, I wish I could, but God guided me through it. Yeah. It was truly a blessing. I threw a SOS out there, literally on LinkedIn with the bat symbol in the air saying, if anybody knows of buildings, let me know. Cause I knew that people weren't using things fully. Sure. Found a building that wasn't even on the market. I mean, at the time, and a guy called me and said, hey, there's a place I think's perfect for you guys. I went and saw it, and it was, perfect in the sense of when I walked in, the colors were our colors already. It had a pool table. I had always dreamed of having a pool table. It's so silly, right? But the things that you look for does God care about me? Does God care about the little details? Does he care about the desires of your heart? Yes. I think he does, and I can see that. Yeah. We have people working remotely because it isn't enough space for everyone to be in there. But we have enough.
You have a ton of office space.
We do. Yeah, we have enough.
It's a big facility.
Thanks.
But don't go past what you said there. Your dad passes away in February. In the time between his passing and memorial service, the week of this phone call comes to you.
Out of the blue.
And what did they give you time wise? I mean, they were like,
thankfully we had time, and that's where I want to be fair and not misrepresent. Like they said, here's the deal. It's March. We're going to let you go until your end of your contract, which was the end of May. Okay, which was still
that doesn't. I mean. Gracious. I don't know if I call that gracious or not.
It wasn't a week. Get out. You got 2 weeks.
Oh my goodness.
So
that is absolutely
and
crazy.
so we did, and we made it. And honestly, my team took over. Yeah. Plus, during that time, I'm grieving. Yeah. I throw myself into work, but I needed to get away, and it wasn't the move that was the worst. It was the general contracting to get the building ready.
Of course.
All the things that were happening.
2 months is insane to get that all done.
It was. Thankfully, it was not the whole building that we had to redo, but we had to do a quarter of it. And that quarter of it got done. Yeah. It all came together. We're knocking down walls. We're putting up walls. We're designing offices, doing tile. As I joked with you, everything was a $10,000 bill, it felt like. And I'm like, holy, is there a memo out that says charge Patrick minimum $10,000?
$99.50. He'll say yes. He'll sign it. Yeah.
Do it. Done. This is a deal.
Yeah.
So, but God provided.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so easy to forget that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But by these questions and me telling the story, it was hard. Yeah. It was unexpected, and it was another punch in the mouth.
Tell me about the distance from old office to new, because that's always a challenge. I mean,
sure.
You have an existing office, you have employees that are driving there every day.
Yep.
Was that a pro or a con for your team members to move? They had 2 months to figure out, can I drive an extra 20 minutes, or what does that look like?
Yeah, it depends on where you're located, of course, right? Yeah. Which employee. The best part of it was we had 2 locations at the time. We had our main hub, and then we had our services at a different place.
Okay.
And that wasn't the ideal situation, but we ran out of space.
I did not know that.
So we were saying, well, if we ever do move, we would want to put everyone in one place. Sure. And we actually had been talking to the owners about expanding at the current location. And they were like, yeah, sure, no problem. So that's why this was complete surprise, because we thought we were on the same page of expanding and doing a longer contract.
Getting actually more space.
But talk about a blessing. Now I own my building.
Yeah.
And this will never happen to me again, because I own the building.
That's right.
And that was just, my dad never owned a building. So I was in completely uncharted waters before. Yeah. So this was one of those things where my dad...
2023 was the first year that CCB owned real estate. I mean,
owned the first time. Yeah. We just never had done that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. I always say we're a bit of control freaks. We like to control at PWI.
Sure.
We do. We just we make promises to customers. We make promises to our team members, and to have that not in your control with property, with real estate, with services we provide, with machinery we're purchasing. We're always trying to keep things in house.
Yep.
Maybe to a fault, but we always joke we are control freaks. So I do feel like real estate is one of those things.
Well, when things happen to you, it makes sense why you want to control it.
Yeah, and I can't wait to show you today, because we now have over 100 acres of real estate to grow into. And my dad was part of that vision. My dad, I always wanted to buy more equipment and hire more people. He said, we got to be thinking about real estate. You're going to grow this thing after I'm gone. And my dad was a visionary that way, especially with real estate. Like he always wanted to buy more property, to the north and to the south of us. And when it came up, open to buy, that $500,000. I remember back in the day we bought this one lot, and I was like, man, just we could do all kinds of stuff with $500,000.
Sure.
But now I am we're using all of it now, like sections of it. We had to do a septic system in the one area. We're putting a new corporate office up in a few years, and so there's just things. So I'm thankful for his vision on that. But again, control, having your own office. I'm so glad that you have that now.
Well, I think that was my dad's fear too, of being stuck somewhere.
Yeah.
But when you're in these opportunities, you have to make a decision.
Yeah.
I could have kept renting.
Yeah.
But my heart told me, let's not ever get into this spot again.
Yeah.
And so I'm just dipping my toe into the real estate aspect, but I do enjoy that my employees have a place that they actually say this feels more like us.
Yeah.
And we're using it every day, and the employees are enjoying it. And again, God provided. It was not in the way I planned it.
Yeah.
So I would encourage anybody listening or watching this that bottom line is, if you do have plans, keep your hands open.
Yeah. Amen.
Because as soon as you grip and you hang on to it, that is not a good place to be, because first of all, it hurts your hands. And second of all, it's just not realistic that you can hold on to something like that,
And God's got other plans many times, as we
Absolutely.
know. Sometimes the hard things he took you through days after your dad passed away ended up being a blessing in the long run.
It was.
So a lot of business owners argue about this, and first of all, owning real estate or not, or or leasing. It's a big discussion point. And then the second part of that is it, does CCB Technology own that as a company, or did you start another LLC to own the real estate, and you're leasing that from yourself? I mean, what did you discover there?
Well, I had to do research because I'd never done it. So I did create a separate LLC.
Good.
I was advised to do that, and created a name and a business for that. And then they bought the building, and then CCB Technology rents to me. Now, as Dave Ramsey would say, you're just moving your money from the back pocket to the front pocket because it's all your money anyways. And I'm like, oh crap, that's right. But it makes sense. But for me, it's a separation that if I ever do need to part ways with CCB or part ways with the building, neither one's going to get hit at the same time. It's a separation, and that's why I did it that way.
Just a few comments on that. It's just a thing that I think we discuss a lot as it's coming. We actually were separate at one time, and then we actually combined it all together.
Interesting.
And I think tax-wise, some of those things, we're probably missing some advantages there. The reason we did it is because it was hard to get profit from the business over to the real estate company. Because we've been building for 10 years straight, building construction something. So we need $500,000 over here to add on to this building, and it's a tax liability to move it from the real estate
sense.
LLC over to the so moving it back and forth.
You're in a
is tough.
completely different situation.
We are, but it is a thing that I think we could dig back into, and I should talk about that with our CFO Dean and just get my head around that a bit more. But it is an interesting conversation, because I know there's people that are very passionate about doing it certain ways. We pressed the easy button, said we want easy. If there's cash in our bank account, we can add to the building this year or whatever.
Sure. I'm with you on that one for sure.
So it's 2023. Your dad's passed away. It's all in your lap now. There's other things going on in your family, your business. Let's hit your family first.
Sure.
And then I got to meet some of your team as well, which is awesome. But a lot of change there as well. We want to go there after this, but start with family first.
Life is not boring for me.
No
all
kidding.
Right?
Yeah, but we started out by saying it's all in the same bucket. So
it is.
And so family is such a big part of it's. I always tell our team members it's the why. I don't do all this for this. I do this because I want to go home to my family on the weekends and support them and care for them and it's too hard just to be about that. And so I do it for the next generation. I have a third generation coming up and that I'm excited about. And that's
a blessing too. I mean, working with family it's a whole nother level as well. But it is a blessing that we have this. So family, I'm happy to share anything you want to share.
Jump into family. the story about some things that were rough.
Well,
there
2023 wasn't the end of the surprises.
Yeah.
So after Dad passed, the building, things come in three, they say. My son got diagnosed with an eating disorder at 13 years old at that time in October of 2023. And what happened was I started, after my dad passed and everything, I started working out to really try to get healthy. I know you can't tell today because it's a couple years ago, but I got healthy.
You look great,
and
man.
I was dropped about 40 pounds because I was working out every day and really doing that and being committed. What I didn't realize is that my son was also going to the gym and working out with me. I knew that, but I didn't realize he was restricting food.
Oh.
And so, teenagers are growing up,
Yeah.
they're maturing. You're like, oh, he's getting taller, right?
Yeah.
And when you
Yeah.
get taller, you get thinner, right? Well, one day I remember watching him run on the treadmill at a very high speed for quite a while. And we got in the car and I was like, hey, man, you really worked out hard today. He's like, yeah, it felt really good. I was like, hey, make sure you need to add calories. You need to refuel. You need to go home and eat. What do you. He's like, oh, yeah. And I'm like, so I checked in with him like later that day. I was like, hey, what'd you eat? Because it was playing in my mind. And again, the fact I even noticed was a godsend that I even noticed. And again, you're thinking, Patrick, how did you not see this? Like when you're going through life and kids can hide it, they wear baggy clothes and everything. So when I asked him,
he just clarified, he's 13 years old.
he was 13 at the time. Yeah. He's 16 today.
Yeah.
Just turned 16. Great kid. But it was an unbelievable kid, super responsible. Like I always said I wanted to be him when I grew up. So when I asked him, what did you eat today? It was very clear. He said he ate like a rice cake. And I'm like, no. So that led to my wife and I talking. I'm like, hey, something's, I'm concerned. She's like, are you sure? I'm like, yeah, we need to get him on a scale. So we get him on a scale and he's probably at 110 at this point.
Oh, wow.
And he's probably 5'7", 110. And my wife's like, he was 120, 123, I think, in the beginning of summer. So I'm like, okay, well, that's not good. We need to figure this out, right? And, people are like, what's the big deal? I'm like, you start to see the reality of this isn't just him getting healthy. He already was fit. Like there wasn't much to lose.
Yeah, you're right.
So we got him to counseling, and then that ended up into him going into children's in December, I think a week before Christmas. We had an episode where we just saw that he wouldn't eat his food. Like there was crying, there was just frustration, and we're like, we need help. And so he was playing basketball, and we told him, you can play basketball only if you refuel and people are like, what are you guys doing, right?
Yeah.
Hey, we're like everyone else. We're trying to figure out how to be a parent.
Wow.
We're not trying to push him in the wrong direction. But at the same time, we were like, how do we give him space? And so when we saw that he got sick and we put him back on the scale, at this point, he was 98 pounds.
Oh, my goodness.
And we're like, okay, enough. So we went to Children's in Milwaukee, which was about 40 minutes away.
12 pounds, man.
Dude, and there's nothing to lose anyways, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, he absolutely needs to be checked in right now.
Yeah.
And so he was there for a week, and we were just praying every day, God, will you please help him fight this battle? And will you please help him get home for Christmas? Because I had 3 other kids, and we all love each other, and we, not perfect family, but we all love each other. And we just wanted Jackson home, right? Until he did. Yeah. He got home. And then January 24, I'm in Omaha, Nebraska at an IT conference, and I have this vivid dream of a lion circling our house, trying to attack our family. Man. And in the Bible, we talk about how the devil is like the lion out there trying to devour us. And I'm like, I told my wife, I'm like, I don't know what's coming, but there's a lion in our backyard. And I'm not this guy that thinks so, all my dreams matter, but this one felt so real that I didn't know. And so it was that next week, my wife and I realized we had to check him back into the hospital. We found him hiding food. We thought we were on the right. He was white knuckling it, basically, doing all the things he needed to get time, but it really wasn't. So we got him back into the hospital. And then this time he refused to do the treatment. He wouldn't talk to us. It was the hardest thing because he's a great kid, but he was in such a dark place. So with that, unfortunately, but fortunately, we had to put him into a treatment center out of the hospital. He hated us. Man, he told us he hated us. Wow. And we went there every day to visit him, and he refused to see us And that was heartbreaking because as a
the
parent,
hardest
I
thing
felt
you've
like,
said. Yeah,
did
man.
I just abandon my son?
Yeah.
And yet we knew he needed help to get through it. And to this day, I can say he is fully recovered.
Oh, wow.
He's a 16-year-old boy, driving, working, plays basketball. He's like around 175 pounds.
Oh, good for
He's as tall as me. He's about 6'1".
Yeah.
So, the hardest part was but that was 2 years of hell, man.
Man.
And
How long did that season last? I mean,
Well,
so you're in the hospital there, though he won't talk to you.
Yeah.
Is that
he did come
a few
around.
weeks, a few months?
It was about a week that he refused to talk to us.
Yeah.
And then we would come visit, but it was very strained, very strained. And people would visit him and everything. And it was a lot of just massive tension. And then on top of that, we kept our kids homeschooled. So we kept them in this private kind of bubble. He's now in the world. He is fully in the world.
Because you're not just. Is he the oldest son?
No, my daughter's the oldest. He's second.
Okay. All right.
My nephew actually is part of our lives. He's the oldest at 20. Daughter's 20. He's 21. Daughter's at 20. Jackson's at 16, and my youngest is now 11.
Nice.
And so they're all spaced out.
Yeah.
At least the two older ones they're cousins, but 5 months apart. And the thing about Jackson though. Is that God always had a hand on his life. I mean, this kid was doing Bible study at 6 a.m. Again, things I wish I was doing.
Yeah.
The reality though is when he was in the treatment center, he was now with everyone with all sorts of battles. And I thought, what happens? What but if somebody assaults him? Every terrible movie that I've ever seen about the staff mistreating the patients, the patients mistreating each other. So God protected him. It was hard. So that took us all the way from January 2024 all the way until really the end of 2024.
Wow.
I mean, he was out of the treatment center by May.
Yeah.
We actually took our family on a vacation that week and said, let's get out of here. My wife, again, wives have great clarity and insight. She's like, we need to get out of here. I'm like, that's next week. She's like, I know, plan a trip and let's get out of here. And I'm like, what? So, but she was right, and we did. We got out as a family. It was good, and then we had to do all the appointments. There was so much treatment. But for anybody out there, first of all, it is hard, but you're not alone.
Yeah.
If you have any questions on this, I know my wife and I would always be willing to help.
Sure.
Everyone's got different battles.
We do.
With different kids. It can come and go in different ways. So,
but when your kids aren't doing well, I mean,
oh my gosh,
they were your little baby at one point, right? And it's everything. And so when your kids are struggling, and I've watched my kids struggle through some really tough times, not an eating disorder, but they all have their battle, right? And so. So grateful for my children, but it is when they're struggling and wrestling through tough times. It wrecks us. Right?
It's a moment of clarity.
Yeah.
I mean, if you really get to it, I mean, I'm so focused on business all the time.
Yeah.
Checking my email.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's the biggest thing that weighs on me, right? Well, when my kid's in my arm, having a seizure, as I told you, I said, God, take me.
Yeah.
Just give him a chance to live, right? Truly, as a father would do, lay down his life for his family. That's what I was willing to. I was like, just do it. Just take it all.
Take the business. Take my
nothing.
life. Yeah.
Just give me my son back, please. God hasn't done that. I mean, he's given me my son back, but he hasn't taken my business. I'm very thankful that God has been there in this journey. It is a battle, though.
Yeah. One thing that I've told people, I remember coming back from the hospital 20 years ago. My oldest son, Dawson, is 20, and I have a picture of him coming home in the car seat, and I have a picture of sitting on the front porch of our house. And I remember bringing him home, sitting on the front porch. I was getting the keys to unlock the door or whatever. We lived in a little 1,000-square-foot home in Napanee, and I was like, what am I doing here? Like this is we have this little soul here. Like it's our thing. It just hit me. It hit me in two ways: the responsibility of the whole thing, but also in just what you just said. I that probably opened my eyes like never before to the love of Christ for me. We are sons of the Father as well, and He laid down His life for us. And so you or I would die for our kids right now, right? And so you see that. I saw that picture more clearly than I've ever seen it, because I was a father for the first time, and so
absolutely, it's a heavy moment. It's a real moment, and we all have those.
Yeah.
I wish the story could be like, oh, Patrick was great for his kids and all that stuff. I was there, But then that also led into in 2025, fast forward through all these years after I got through it, when you have time to breathe, then the anger came on. The anger came on of, why did you do this, God?
Yeah.
Why did you attack Jackson? Which, first of all, that's the wrong way to say it.
Sure.
Let me just say that right now. That's what I was saying in my head, right?
Yeah.
You did this, God.
Yeah.
It wasn't God that attacked Jackson. It was Satan who attacked Jackson. It was evil. And it is also consequences of what we do when we're in our fleshly desires.
Right.
Jackson, it was what we found out later is it was driven by anxiety. Anxiety comes from trying to meet the world's expectations, be perfect, have to look, everything has to look great. And so what that turned to me, though, and where I failed, is that turned into me blaming God that it even happened. Wow. So my blessing, my praises turned into anger and bitterness. And that started spilling out. Because once I knew he was safe, then I was like, oh, I can breathe. And then I was like, well, wait a minute. What the heck was this all about? Why'd you even make us go through this, right? And also during the time, my son, his faith has been challenged because he's like, I did everything right. I did the Bible study thing. I gave up doing fun things to honor the Lord, and I got put in the situation. And then he's like, but even maybe God has a plan for me. I can see that. What about all these other people that never come to God? Why does he allow these things to happen to them? I'm like, Jackson, you are asking a very good question, and I am so not qualified to answer this. I don't think anybody is. Right. I said, but I can tell you this, Jackson, God has a plan in this, and it isn't to hurt us, it's to prosper us. We know that Jeremiah 29, 11 through 13, 100%. That's the verse I grabbed. But the reality is, what I didn't realize is that bitterness and that anger started to just take over my heart and make it hard. Wow. And so through that, and I've shared this with you, and I'm an open book about this because I have to be. It's where we all can go. You start to say, this isn't a blessing, this is a curse. This business isn't a blessing, it's a curse. This house that we have on 10 acres, it never ends. It's a curse. Why did you give me this house? Give me a small house. Give me a small, give me something I can manage, right? Why did you give me kids with that I have to pour into versus can they just be perfect all the time? Like, it's you start realizing that it's about me, my problem. It's my expectations that I have, and that I am just saying, all right, God, I want to be in control, not you. And that just kept turning into more and more, which affected my marriage, affected my relationship with my kids. But by God's grace,
it also affected your business. It had to.
All of it. My business relationships, as you mentioned,
all of that.
Transition. I have to look at myself and say, I do have responsibility in this. And so I would encourage anybody out there, be careful. Be careful. I've been there. Be better than me. Don't do what I do. Don't take your eyes off the Lord. That podcast you're talking about, I was sinking and now I'm singing. I was sinking, and now I have given it to the Lord. It is not perfect. I am struggling every day. I hit my knees this morning, and I said, God, have this day. I don't know fully why I'm here, how I got here, other than I have a great guy named Ryan who has helped me get here. But I said, God, you have a plan here. And we were talking about, even if it's for us to encourage each other or this podcast.
I think that's the goal. I think I don't know if you're in any peer groups or not, but I have found that peer groups are just, we as owners, the weight falls on us, and sometimes there's just things that we want to talk about, that we need to talk about with other business owners that are in the same place that we are.
In the same room,
the same room. And so those have been very, very
it's like parenting.
Impactful.
Talk to other parents. You're like, how do you parent your teenager, right?
That's right.
And it doesn't mean you have to do it exactly like them, but you learn.
You do. I always get ideas. of new things we can be doing, both, friends on the parenting side or peer groups in the business. And so that's what this is today. It's just
having accountability is also super important. So having somebody that you can talk to is super important, but it's the accountability. That's the thing that I needed in my life, and we have it with partners if you allow that accountability. I also think it's really important to have somebody outside of your spouse for accountability. So I started meeting with an elder from my church as I was going through so much in 2025. And that was a huge difference for me. I also sought biblical counseling.
Yeah.
I needed somebody to talk to that pointed me back to the Lord and pushed on me. It wasn't my spouse because that doesn't usually go well.
It doesn't go well. Yeah, it's right. And there's that outside perspective really does help. I'm glad you've found an elder to talk with. I have a group of I have several different groups I meet with. I have two different peer groups, one local and one
national.
Yeah, one more national, and then there's three dudes that I meet with once a month.
Sure.
We grab coffee, talk about us and life and marriage and problems and morality and all those things.
All those
talk
things
about,
that
right?
come
And
at
so
you,
just
right?
kept trying to keep me accountable, and it's so powerful. I love those guys. So let's go. So man,
I know, dude. This
is a wild ride,
is
man.
It's full of a lot of opportunity to discuss things.
Yes,
so I'll just let you open up whatever you want.
So man, you have all you've built this business. Your dad built the business. You took it over, and your dad's gone. You have all these problems in your family.
Yeah.
And God takes you through this journey. Through it's really kind of a Job story. I mean, honestly, like it's and even it involves marriage. I mean, Job's wife said, "Curse God and die." And like, this isn't worth it. And Job maintained, with the help of some friends, right? Or they weren't great friends half the time, but they showed up for him. Let's put it that way. They at least showed up for him, right? But through all that, now you're back at CCB.
Yeah.
You're sitting there. You got a leadership team built around you, and all that. And then let's dive into what's happened in the past months.
Well, there's one big thing to add to it because it adds to the story.
Okay.
When in 2022, I named my VP of Services my president, Logan. And so while I was going through, the reason I did that is it was before my dad's passing, but my dad had a spinal cord injury in 21. So he passed in 23, but he had a battle of being paralyzed after a freak accident, falling down, and it never recovered.
Yeah.
And so with that, we also had my VP of Finance had quit with no notice. So I was drowning, trying to keep afloat. And I'm not wired that way. Yeah. I am a visionary. I am a guy that says, give me marketing, give me sales, give me human resources. I love talking with people. But when it gets to the finances and the services and all that stuff, I am needing the people who can do that really well to do it. And that was gone.
Yeah.
Part of my brain was gone because that person owned that. And so I brought Logan in as president because we are opposites. Yeah. He is super detail.
Was Logan an outside hire for you? Or?
No, he had. So Logan at that time would have been with me for 15 years.
Wow.
So he started in sales and moved his way into different positions of vice presidents. Right. He was on the services side, which is very detail oriented, quality driven. Watched the numbers, all of it. And so he moved into the president role, and I said, "I need you to take this on for me because I just can't do it." And he did. And
so then, and I know there's a lot of change since then, but maybe pause that for a minute. Thanks for bringing that up, reminding me of that. Let's talk a little bit about that deal because I'm president and CEO of our company, president, and
that's
CEO.
what I was. Mm-hmm.
You were, I'm sure.
Yep.
Tell me about that split. How did you get there to that point, and what took you to the point? How did you figure out? It's time for a president. Yeah. I'm going to be the visionary CEO, which is absolutely what I tend to as well. I don't like the details. I hate the word processes and procedures and policies. It drives me crazy. So, but I like to know where we're going, where we're heading, the big picture.
Sure.
When was the right time for you to say? I know you had some things happen in your life there, but how did you get to the point where I'm going to hand my baby to the president who really is leading the company for you?
Right.
And what?
It's good.
How did you get there, and then how did you split your roles?
How did I get there? Yeah. So back up a couple things. When I was president, CEO, I was president in 2013. Mm-hmm. I became CEO when I bought the company.
Okay,
in 2018. So I had 4 years to be president and CEO until 2022. Sure. What happened was when I realized I was under so much pressure with the VP of Finance, and I realized I was struggling to really figure this out. I mean, I'd given it a try. She quit on December 7th, 2021. They will always stay in my brain. And then here we are in August, and I sat down with Logan, and Logan had already said to me, I would love to tag team this with you.
Wow.
Divide and conquer. He had put that out there years, even before I was ready to, and I said, hey, here's the deal, man. I got to make sure I can set the house up. I'm not sure when that's going to happen. Sure. He's like, I understand that, but I would love the opportunity to divide and conquer with you, right?
Yeah.
And we didn't do EOS at the time. We didn't understand that whole thing, at least when he first pitched it. But when we brought it up in 2022, it was clear. We had started our venture on EOS, and that talked about the visionary, and it talked about the integrator.
Yes.
And Logan's like, this is exactly what I was talking about when I said divide and conquer, right? Yeah. So it was already, the seed had already been thrown out there. It had been planted. Logan wanted it. I also, out of fear, I didn't want to lose Logan, to be honest. I was like, hey, this guy is going to get an offer someday. I want him to be with us. But then I also reached the capacity of I am out of my strength area of expertise. Logan is so wired and good at this. He loves it. While I'm like, oh my gosh, like my head is drowning in this. And so it made logical sense. And then meanwhile, my dad had that injury and my mom needed me. I mean, we were tag teaming, trying to take care of my dad. He was in a nursing home. It was a lot. And so, and that's even before, all the other stuff happened later with my son. So it was the right time to bring somebody in. Sure. It was we already knew it was a good thing. I had to come to the reality that I was failing in these details. And that I wasn't, and that's a hard place as a CEO and as a president, because I took pride in I know the details. Yes. I'm an overseer to give up. So it really was letting go of control, but also embracing that there's somebody else that can do this better than me. You trusted
Logan because, just 100%. To clarify that you brought Logan in to do this, but he was a 15-year veteran of the business.
Yeah,
that probably gave you a lot more.
But I also and also my dad gave it to me. So to be fair, you end up kind of doing things in your house that you were modeled before you. Not everything. Yeah. So the way I did it is, my dad named me president, and so Logan had followed me in most positions. I never went over to the services side, so he definitely went a different direction than I did. But it was the right direction for him to be able to come in as president, because I think that actually helped him lead better than I did in the sense of understanding services and help services
the
grow.
Other side of your house,
of the house, right? Yeah, I mean, I was an overseer, but he was in the trenches. He knew what customers needed.
That's big.
He knew the gaps that we needed to fix. So we could be a better company, in which we have done since 2026.
So and people are probably familiar with EOS. I certainly am. We're not on EOS, and I have friends that swear by it, right, and all that. We always say we're EOS-ish. There's a lot of things we do. Yeah, sure. All of our meeting rhythms and things like that. We set the goals annual. We do annual offsites. We do a lot of things like that.
There's implementers out there that's twitching right now.
I'm sure. My friend Justin's going to go crazy right now because
I drive my guy crazy too, because I'm like, hey, just so you know, I'm probably not going to stick to. He's like, you got to stick to some core value. I'm like, I'll stick to core values, but don't let this thing be a straitjacket to me.
That's exactly how I feel, and I've heard some people that are on it. As well, I've heard the negatives of just
I'm learning.
You've got to cater it to yourself. You
do.
Build your own system that works. You do. And so our team is always open to discuss the next option. But I've read Rocket Fuel, the visionary integrator. Exactly. I love that analogy because it resonated so much with me. So Logan then ran the operations of the business. What did you keep hold of as the be honest with me here. We're control freaks a bit. Or what did you keep hold of when you handled Logan that role and announced that?
Yeah, so I did it how my dad did it, and I gave Logan everything.
Wow.
Which I think at that time, we had talked about, does HR stay underneath me because of the culture is defined by the visionary. Sure. But I said, you know what, Logan, just take it. Yeah. Now, looking back at it, later we had many conversations of, Logan, you don't like marketing. And sales because you did sales, but is that really your thing? Because I asked so many questions of what are the reps doing? Where are their activity? Where's the phone calls? Where's the reaching out? Where's the events? All this stuff. Logan is task master oriented. Sure. So I said, you really belong in finance, services, operations. I really belong in HR, sales, and marketing, right? But we didn't do it that way. Instead, I gave him everything, and that created frustrations for me and him, because when they say I came back, I never left, but I came back where I wanted to be part of meetings. Yeah. I took myself out of all the meetings. The only meeting I had was with Logan. Wow. And what happened was it got really frustrating for Logan and me, but probably more for Logan, is I was like, well, did you ask this? Did you ask this? And what about this? And he's like, hey, Patrick,
wow.
I'm sorry, but I don't think like that. And I'm like, well, you need to.
Yeah.
And he's like, but I'm not you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I know, but these are the things that I need details on. And so it became hard because Logan wanted so bad to give me what I needed.
Yeah.
But it was so hard. Then people are like, why is Patrick in this meeting?
Yeah.
He's like, well, it's just easier than me having to like try to remember everything. And then it felt clunky to me because now I mean, I enjoyed being in the meetings, but it also felt weird. Like, and then
people, what is your role there?
Well, people are like, do we have do I have two bosses?
That's right.
And
or which boss makes the call? I work for Logan.
And that's what happened.
Yeah.
Logan and I have opposite personalities. Yeah. So he is even keel. Yeah. He is consistent. I'm emotional, not yelling at people, but I'm like, hey, let's go do this. Let's go now. Let's go attack this, right?
Yeah.
And I'm thinking about, let's get creative. And Logan's just like, hey, just you do what you need to do.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no. We need to have a plan and we need to attack it today. And Logan's like, our speeds are also very different.
Yeah.
And so it was very frustrating. And people were confused of who's really running this. Yeah. Is it you? And Logan was like, hey, he felt it. So the clunkiness became very clear, as they say, when Patrick returned, it was different. And meanwhile,
were you in the office? Like, just clarify that. Were you in the office every day?
I was.
As a CEO, but you were kind of locked in your own office, and you and Logan would talk.
We're hybrid. Okay. So after 2020, which I never thought we would ever do, right? But we had to do it. We brought people back 2 days a week. There are some departments like services that are in 4 days a week.
Sure.
Marketing has been in 5 days a week. I'm in the office now every day.
Okay.
I need separation from my personal life. But it is option. So most of the time we were in at least 2 or 3 days a week.
But you weren't in Miami on the beach hanging out.
No.
That was not the deal.
No. First of all, I don't golf because I'm terrible. So I golf in charity events. I don't have time for that.
I quit that as well.
Yeah. One person looked at me and said, well, definitely you spend a lot of time in the office because you suck at golf. And I'm like, thank you very much.
Yeah.
But no, I was not this guy just living a life away from the business at all. Yeah. I was in my email. And I think that's another thing. My dad he checked his email, but he literally was ready to go. Now, when I gave the reins over to Logan, this is 2022. So, we're talking 4 years, ago-ish, right? So I was 44.
Yeah.
I said, Logan, my dad was in his 60s when he gave me the president role.
Right.
So I said, there's a big difference. I'm not ready to retire, bro.
Yeah, right.
And so
there is a big difference.
So that was a big difference for me that I just didn't realize. And so with that, Logan did great with so many things. The company grew with profits.
Yeah.
He managed expenses way better than me.
Yeah.
I love to be Santa Claus.
Which makes sense.
Yeah.
He loves the
you
details.
Want this? Got it.
Right.
You want cameras? Got it. You want to spend marketing? You got it. Right. Because it felt good.
Yeah.
I'm a people pleaser.
Yeah.
So I'm like, if you like me, I'm walking out of the room feeling like, all right, I just did my job.
Yeah.
Logan's like, I don't care if you like me or not.
Yeah.
This is the budget and this is what we're going to do.
Yeah.
Which is what I needed. So, but with all that, I think it led to frustrations. And there's a whole story. Logan ended up moving to Nashville.
So I want to end with that. So that's the last. That's recent, right?
Oh, we're talking July 2025. Yeah, he moved to Nashville.
But I want to get our head around your shift and just the reality of business is hard, and even at the leadership level, there's changes and shifts, and you're in the middle of that, or you're just going through some of that.
We're in the thick of it. Yeah.
But I want to understand, like when you came back in, okay?
Yeah.
And you were there. Did you mean back into the meetings? Do you mean back in?
Yeah.
Were you president CEO, or did you
didn't
pull the president role back? But
I like the air quotes because I always say I never left people. It's not like I just disappeared.
Yeah.
But I did take myself out of the meetings, so I put myself back in the meetings.
Back into the meetings, and you changed the org chart. You left the org chart.
I left the org chart defined.
Did you re-grab marketing? And get
I was
really
in the
involved?
meetings.
Okay,
I was in the meetings.
Okay.
We did have a transition there where our VP of marketing retired, so our VP of sales and marketing came together.
Okay,
which was a good thing.
That's interesting.
But we tried a lot of good new things, which was great. The thing though is I had questions, and again, even Steve at the time, he and I were very similar, even more similar than Logan.
Yeah.
But we also had, this is his first time doing the marketing gig, right?
Right.
And he did a lot of good creative things for sure, looking at it. And we're still doing those things today. But there was definitely some things that I was used to getting asked questions on before things were just done.
Yeah.
And instead things were done because Logan said, sure. And then there was one incident where I realized that there was some money spent that I would have done it in a different direction. So then I came in and I said, okay, time out. We're putting a rule in. Anything over $1,000 needs to be put past my nose.
Sure.
Well, what I didn't realize is how that really took away some comfortableness for the team because they basically read exactly what I was saying, which is I need to control this.
Yeah. And there's that trust. Almost a trust broken there a bit as well.
It was. I was frustrated. Yeah. I was frustrated looking back at it. Now, could I have done it differently? Probably.
Yeah.
I said, I didn't.
But they also weren't doing things the way you wanted them done either, right? So,
I mean, and that's the thing as a leader.
You are the owner, right? So
they always say, let it go. Yeah. Let people do it the way they want to do it. My question is, what happens though if you don't get the results, right?
Yeah.
And people are going to fail, but fail forward, right?
Yeah.
Fail and fall forward. Learn from it, right?
Yeah.
There's truth in that. But it's your money.
Yeah.
It's your company.
Yeah,
and this risk. Now, I have great people, and Steve and Logan didn't just treat it like it was my money. They actually treated it like theirs. But you have to decide how much are you willing to let go.
Right.
It's like parenting.
Yeah.
How much freedom do you allow, right?
Yeah.
You have to let them grow.
Yeah.
You have to let them have some independence. But you're also watching. And at some point, you might step in and say, hey, we're going to take away this moment of your independence because as a parent, I have a responsibility and I need to step in. And as a CEO and owner, I feel like it is my responsibility to make sure I don't let my team make a mistake.
Well, I think one thing Dave Ramsey had taught me and probably taught both of us is I think Dave's KPI is he works on what's new and what's broken. And there's times what you're saying, things are broken down deep.
Yes.
And you see something go, oh, that's not cool. I was in a meeting last week where there was some disagreement at a pretty high level on how we're going to handle something that I should have not been involved with.
Sure.
But it came up to me because it was so far off. They were wrong. They were clearly wrong. We were going to lose probably $100,000. And it was a bad decision was being made, and I stopped it. And so was that me being a control freak, or was that me saying no, that's broken? There's a fire. I'm going to put it out. I'm going to help put it out here. So I think there's room for us as leaders to drill down deep and stop things because again, it is ultimately your baby.
Yeah,
it's our baby. It's the Lord's, but we're stewarding it for Him.
And apologize. Like when there's times I've overstepped, I've had to apologize.
Yes, for sure.
And be like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm still learning how to let go.
Yeah.
And they know that. Yeah. So they've given me a lot of grace in that too. I also have to accept when I mess up. And they also but we also do want your opinion, Patrick. It's not like you're here, you have wisdom, you have value. I'm like, I just don't know when to speak up and when not to speak up.
Help me out.
And I think it is about working together, and we have had to work through that. Yeah. So it has not been easy.
Yeah.
I have made a lot of mistakes. I want to be clear about that. That is not that I have done this perfect.
I know you're not saying that. We're none of us are perfect,
I'm trying to get better.
Yeah.
And my team is, you need your team, and I want to stress that.
Yeah.
You can't think that it's all on our shoulders. Yeah. Now, as I say to people, CCB success isn't because of me.
Yeah,
100%. It's because of all the employees that come to work every day, that choose to work. And there are some people that you have to part ways with because they're not there to give it all they have. Yeah. They're there for a paycheck.
Sure.
And that is unfortunate.
It is.
But
it's
you have a responsibility, and I have to tell myself too, because I like to try to convince people they can change. Yeah. I can persuade you to really want to work hard for your job because this is a great place for you to grow in, right? Yeah. Sometimes you just can't persuade people. You can try, but you can't force them to. And you have to be able to part ways because you have a responsibility to the rest of the employees to not keep somebody in that spot who isn't going to give what everyone else is. Yeah. And that's difficult. There's not one firing I've done that I've enjoyed. Not one.
Tell me about it, man.
So
some of the. I mean, they're embraced in my memory. I mean, these.
We take it as personal. You're here. We're here to shepherd you.
Yeah.
You don't want to lose them.
You feel like you're a failure as well. I feel like
100%.
I probably should have dealt with this sooner. I probably should have spoken up more. I probably.
What did I miss?
Yeah.
What did I miss in the interview?
Yeah. No kidding.
Yeah.
So as we wrap up here,
Sure.
let the last 8, 9, 10, 12 months, whatever that was.
Oh, man.
You've had some more shifts.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
big
So
time.
tell me about that.
Just when you think,
Take us to today, basically.
I think
yeah.
there's that thing, right? When you think the water's calm and there's nothing else underneath the surface.
There's no sharks. We're good.
Yeah, we're good, right?
Yeah.
So Logan came to me in the beginning of January 2025 and said to me, "Hey, man, there's a chance I might be moving to Nashville." Wow. And I was like, "Wait, say what?"
And just to clarify, you're in Wisconsin.
We're in Wisconsin, outside Milwaukee. I'm like, I named you president in September of 2022. Now I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to take over CCB and run it. And he's like, well, I still want to be president in Nashville. I'm like, Logan, the company's in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
He's like, I know.
Wow.
He goes, I think I can do this job from Nashville. And I'm like, okay, I got to process this, man. Like, I don't even know what to, and I was like, why Nashville? And I knew he had a church plant had been done down there, and a lot of his friends had gone down there. And,
Sure.
But talk about uncharted waters.
Wow.
I've never had an employee say to me that they needed to move to an area because they needed to be around friends.
Yeah. Right.
I was like, you're the president. My dad, you grew up in generation, you moved 2 cities for your job.
Yeah. Right.
That
takes precedent.
Yeah. Sorry, friends. I'm out. And I did. I was like, what just happened? Like my plan just, so Logan was my best employee. And so I was like, Logan, I care about you like a brother. You're my best employee. I don't want to lose you.
Yeah.
I don't want to compete against you. Because I'm like, what are you going to do? He's like, I don't know yet. I'm like, well, what does that mean? And so I said, well, I don't want to lose you. Let's try it. So he's like, yeah, we're probably not going to do it until probably maybe summer or whatever. So he did come to me later, told me it's going to be July 2025. So we tried it. I had him go down to Nashville. I said, Logan, I do need you to come back like every other week. And because I said, they need to see you.
Yeah.
I mean, because now I'm in the office, even though I was in the office, I'm like, everyone looks to you. Nobody looks at me. Yeah. And I was frustrated because I'm like, what did I do? I gave up all the power. Yeah. And now nobody trusts me anymore, which that's what I was telling myself.
Sure.
It's not necessarily true, but it's what the lie that was saying that nobody trusts you, Patrick. Everyone trusts Logan. Yeah. Logan goes to Nashville, So we tried it. The problem is that Logan has a young family. Mm-hmm. I think his oldest is probably 14 now, all the way down to 3 or 4. Yeah. And, it was too much. Yeah. It was too much for a young family. And so he came to me in the fall of 2025 saying, hey, I just got to tell you, like, this isn't working for me. And meanwhile, I'm thinking this has been great. Yeah. He's coming back every other week. He's engaged. He hasn't taken his foot off the gas. He's Logan. He's consistent Logan, right? But when he came to me, he's like, I can't keep doing this. If we're going to do this, I can only travel like once like a month, I think maybe. So if you want me to come to the office, that's fine. But then I won't go to a conference. If you want me to go to a conference, I can't go to the office. Yeah. And I'm like, I can't do that. And there was other discussions of things and that he wanted. And I just said, I can't do this. Yeah. It's too much. I just can't do this. And so we agreed at that point that probably was going to be an interesting transition. I didn't know how. At least we felt like that, because that came in probably the same time frame. He came to me in September, and on that day he announced to me that not only was he leaving, giving his resignation, but the VP of Sales and Marketing was also leaving. Wow! And he's like, I didn't know, Patrick. Wow. And he goes, I know how you think. Was this planned? Yeah. This was not planned. Steve called me up I think last night, texted me and said, I need to talk to you first thing tomorrow morning. He just told me. I told him, well, I'm about to tell Patrick too. And I think Steve's thoughts were he's going to lose it, which I would.
Which you did?
Well, actually, I didn't. I didn't. And only by God's grace, because on August 1st, God really put me on my knees, surrendering that bitterness and that anger to the Lord.
Wow. Because just in time.
Oh, exactly. Just in time. Because if this had happened, if I had not surrendered that anger and that bitterness, and this had happened, everything would have come undone. I guarantee you it would have, because I already was hanging on by a thread. That would have been the final blow to put me down. I don't even know. At that time, my marriage was under attack. My relationship with my kids were under attack. The business relationships with executives were under attack. I would have probably hit the button of I'm out.
Wow.
In life. I would have probably just let everything fall apart.
Yeah.
And thankfully, by God's grace, that did not happen. So we worked through the transition. Yeah. Logan was so gracious. He's like, I'll stay on for a year.
Wow.
Because that's what you had asked me for, Patrick. Because I said, if you ever leave, I need a year to at least transition. Because I didn't know what I was going to do. Mm-hmm. So he's like, you can have me for a year if you want. Steve wants to leave sooner. So we worked that out. So yeah, so 2 guys left, 2 pillars. Logan, 19 years, Steve, 13 years.
That's brutal, man.
And it's hit our culture. I mean, 2 great pillars. However, and our company doesn't have change, but we are getting through it.
Yeah.
And through this, God brought another guy to me. I hit my knees for 3 weeks praying, God, who's out there?
Yeah.
Because I have no idea what I'm going to do. And I want to say one more thing. Logan could have played me so easily. Mm-hmm. He could have easily said to me, hey, Patrick, there is a solution to this. Just sell me the company.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I probably would have done it. He instead
because he knew you were in a pretty
he knew I was in such a breaking point.
Yeah.
He knew.
Wow.
But instead, he left me a voicemail. Because I had said to him, like, Logan, should I just give this to you? Like, I don't want to lose my parents' legacy.
Yeah.
I'd rather you have it because I love you. You care about the company.
Yeah.
And he left me a voicemail saying, I've prayed about this. This is not the time for you to give the company up.
Wow.
You have a lot of work to do, Patrick, but God is with you. And I can see since you surrendered, you are in a spot to trust the Lord through this. And if you trust the Lord through it, you will get through it.
That had to give you some courage, man.
It was what gave me the reason to keep being here today. Yeah. But he didn't have to do that. Yeah. But that's the kind of person he is. And I want to make sure we spotlight that. Yeah. He is such a genuine, God-focused man of integrity. Yeah. And so with that, he has been, and next week's his last week.
Wow.
And it's his birthday's on Monday. My birthday is on Wednesday. And then he leaves on Friday.
Wow.
And it's a whirlwind. It's hard to see him go. I'm also excited. He's going to be doing an EOS implementer job where he gets to work with businesses.
Good for him.
Yeah. And he's going to do fantastic at it. So God is in control, but it has not been easy. Yeah. But through this, as I said, I hit my knees, I prayed, and he brought another guy to me named John Greenwood, which I met at my daughter's college, which is a Christian college called Cedarville University. And I was on a business council. John was running it. And I just started talking to John. And the next thing I know, for 3 weeks, never dreamed. John is had retired from banking after 30 years in banking. 39 years, I think, in banking.
What a huge asset for your business.
Oh, my gosh. Wow. Oh, my gosh. I mean, again, talk about God is in control. Yeah. But he called me up. I had told him what was happening.
Isn't that just crazy, though, how God does work all things for his good? And John, God was ordaining that without you knowing about it. The pieces were being
moved all in order that I had no idea. Even the timing of Logan leaving. Because John's out of Columbus, Ohio. Yeah. If Logan had never moved to Nashville, I would have never considered John for the job in Columbus, Ohio. Sure. John's commuting every other week. Yeah. Whether he's driving or flying, he's in a different stage of life. Yeah. His kids are older. Can do it. Yeah. Yeah. He says this is fun. Yeah. This is his opportunity. He said, Patrick, my opportunity to come to CCB is to help protect the legacy of CCB. Mm-hmm. I'm like, God, you have given me somebody who is wiser, with more experience, and has a heart to push me to run forward instead of.
You got to meet John, great guy.
Yeah, I'm so glad you did. But
wow,
there's a lot here in the story.
I was kidding earlier that I'm going to maybe steal him from you because he's a really good. So John, if you're listening to this, man, there's openings in Indiana.
Oh man, you're trying to make me cry, man. So
I think it's just it's crazy with everything you've been through, and some of this is super fresh. I mean, the president of your company. Is leaving next week.
Yeah, we're not even there yet.
Yeah. So, but that's the dynamic nature of business, man. It's always this way, and I think
it's moving.
It's very moving, and our team has changed and shifted and tweaked, and there's been hard things and hard conversations. I'm hoping to for you to meet some of the team today as well when we go visit. But exciting to see what the Lord is doing at CCB and what he's doing in our lives. And so just to know that God is truly in control of what we're doing. It's bigger than us. John Maxwell always says, I want to do things that are so big that people know it's not me.
Sure.
That's kind of become my business motto is like, Lord, this is not my baby, it's yours.
It is.
And whenever I'm freaking out and I'm kneeling in prayer and I'm saying, Lord, this is bigger than me, it truly, I feel like I can give that to him. You did that last August.
Exactly. Well, reminders. You don't forget.
Yeah.
And it's easy. It's easy to move on.
Yeah.
It's like, you're starving, you eat something, you're full.
Yeah.
And then, next day you're like, I'm starving. You're like, did you not enjoy that last thing I just had? It's just how we're wired, right? We want the next thing. Yeah. And so the other thing is learning to see it as a blessing. Like, I could easily have gone back to my old ways and be like, woe to me. Yeah. Why is this happening again? It's another thing on my life. And instead I'm like, God's got me.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not comfortable all the time. I'll tell you that. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, it's awesome. It's not.
Yeah.
Some days suck. Yeah. I mean, it's just reality. In transition, John's coming in from the banking world and IT. It has been hard.
Yeah.
He has done well, but it has been hard. Sure. And we love to tease him because, technology is completely different from banking. But he's doing it, right? And then there's people that are frustrated about the change and where's the company going? Yes. And of course, then I put doubt of, do they not trust me?
Yeah.
But I keep telling the company when I get in front of them, and I try to do that quarterly, I don't believe the story is over.
Yeah.
I believe God has a plan here.
Yeah.
Now, I wish I could tell you where it's going. I have a plan.
Yeah.
Don't be surprised if the plan pivots because that is what has happened in the history of our company. Yeah. But when you look at where we have been and where we are today, God has had his hands on this company.
Amen.
And he will continue to have his hands on this company if we choose to honor him in who we are and how we do our business.
Yeah.
And that's
I love that,
and I don't expect everyone to believe that in my company, but I'm going to lead that way.
Amen.
And let people hear it.
We're called to do that, Patrick. I mean, we lead with our faith, and not everybody may align with that, and that's okay. But man, we're here on the Forge podcast today, and you certainly have been through the Forge. I mean, you've been on the anvil. You've been through it all, and it's what's crazy about your story is not just the business. It's when we can't even go home and things are great there with our kids or with our spouse.
That's a whole nother thing.
It's a whole nother thing, and so your whole life feels like you're in turmoil. That's what happened with Job exactly. Is that his whole life?
I was in a vice. I felt like I was getting squeezed by both ends, just ready to pop, and I did pop.
Yeah.
I did.
Well, you're going to be stronger because of this, because of all this, and
appreciate this.
God's going to keep building you, and He's building all of us, right?
Well, it's God's story.
Yeah,
we all just embrace it.
Yeah, that's right. So it's such a good conversation today, Patrick.
I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks for having me, Ryan. It's awesome.
Good to be here. Thank you.
Yep.